Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Mary Ellen, hello.
Hello, how are you today, Miss Becky? Bright as always, I see.
Oh, Lordy girl, we
Hey,
got a
somehow I
hot
know that
topic.
your glasses are over here, up here in Tennessee, on my desk back here.
I know, I see that. We've got some stuff that we're going to be talking about that's rather serious today. With artificial intelligence, we've all heard, we're going to skip the comments and how we're doing. We're just going to jump into things because this is going to be a long video. Um, we've Sorry about that, cat. Um, we've all seen the news article that Amazon has put out that they are going to implement AI to replace workers. So we're going to be talking all things work from home. We're going to be talking about global workforces. We're going to be talking about these news articles a little bit more. We're going to be talking about some of our common worries, because I've certainly got some possible solutions, and we'll wrap this up. But Miss Mary Ellen, before we even get into all that, one thing AI is not going to replace is doing surveys.
This is true because when they're doing those surveys, they're wanting to know your opinion so they know what to put out on the market, what people are looking for.
So can you hook us up with some paid, the ones that you know pay out?
Yes, I will be glad to hook you up. The links will be under the video.
Okay. Listen, we're only putting the ones that pay out. Okay. So if we didn't get the coin, it ain't in there. Okay. So if you're like, well, where's this? Well, that's because
And
it's
I have
that
a
pay out.
good explanation of, people go, well, always get cleaned out, always get told no. There are reasons. And although one survey site might not work for you today, this week, another two or three may, and then you can go back to the other one. Um, but I have a really good explanation of why that happens
Mhm.
on the Facebook group.
Yes. We will have a link to the Facebook group, Miss Mary Ellen's blog, my blog, the website, and we are going to have those lists of those surface. Listen, they are referral links, but these are the ones that pay. We have somebody making $500 this month. They're going to clear 500 doing
And they
these.
work a full-time job.
Yeah. On
That
top of that,
is, I would consider it a stressful job myself. Um, and they literally get phone calls, and it's like, pack your equipment up, get in the vehicle, roll, and
yeah,
they have to go right then. But they're going to make $500 this month, if not more, from
yeah.
doing the surveys on the side in their spare time.
And they only do what, 3 hours a day every few days?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So these are the money makers. This isn't the penny survey, even though the pennies add up.
pennies make dollars.
Yes. So, Miss Mary Ellen, about that blog,
Don't even.
y'all know I got to harass her about that blog. Uh,
Okay, so let me tell you what I did this week. Instead of working on my blog, I did work my couple of little jobs. I applied for another one. I canned 16 pints of tomatoes. I canned 8 pints of mixed vegetables without corn. I canned 16 pints of mixed vegetables with corn. Um,
did you sleep?
oh, how much did I canned 16 pints of Chinese cabbage with onions and carrots.
Yeah. And then you had a busy day today.
Then I had a busy day today. How many did I say? Then I got to count again. See, I do so much, I can't even keep up with it in
But
my
if y'all
head.
want the real tea about what Miss Mary Ellen did today, you should join the members. If you haven't hit that like and
I did
subscribe,
I did 7 I view it's today, plus run
yes.
errands. picked up dog
Yeah.
food, went by Lowe's and picked up some dog chains and paraphernalia for that. Stopped
Yeah.
at the grocery store.
Yeah. So if you
Went
haven't
in one
already,
of the Dollar Generals I did in at the landscape inspection on and got some of these
good.
smaller plastic kiddie pools to use with the dogs. None of my dogs will get in one. The first
Yeah.
time I did one for my oldest wolves, they just kind of looked at it. It had fish painted on the bottom, and they kept going. They were trying to catch the fish in the bottom, I think.
Yeah. So if you haven't already, it costs you nothing. Subscribe to the channel, hit a like notification as well as hit a like button, hit the bell notification to let you know as soon as these videos are out. We will be doing them twice a week. Now, Miss Mary Ellen, let's talk about work from home. Before COVID, what did work from home? Was it a new thing?
Lord, no, people been working from home. I can remember some jobs that were work from home back in the mid to late 70s. And they were the ones I knew about were like the hotlines that you can
Mhm,
call, and we forwarded the phone calls. We had rotary dial phones. I had a Princess phone. They bought me a Princess phone.
mhm,
Um, and they would forward the calls to your house. You dial star or whatever. It works on cell phones too. And
mhm,
it would, when they'd call that hotline, it would go to your house. There were people who work from home just calling like elderly people or people that lived alone to check on them. The family would hire the company, be that your company or you worked from home for another company. And, you'd call them at 8 o'clock at night, how are you doing? Is everything okay? Did you eat supper? Some nurses worked from home, nurses on call. But I can also remember, doctors still went to your house then.
yeah.
It's just like this delivery thing, delivering, and you pay Uber Eats to deliver the food. Well, they used to deliver it from from the restaurant or from the store or from the drugstore.
Mhm,
I'm not sure why everybody thinks all this is new. Um, but yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily new before
No.
COVID. It just became more out in the open
Yeah.
during COVID. I'd been working
S-
from home for years by then.
So speaking of COVID, work from home exploded out there even more on a global scale
Yes.
um, during the pandemic. And during that time, there was a big, huge, if businesses, excuse me, if businesses were going to run and they were clerical, administrative, call center, then the business had no choice but to hire work from home. And
Right.
the prices, what you got per hour, was insane. It was like, well, I ain't doing this for less than 20. And people were getting $20 an hour. Now, post pandemic,
They want the low ball again.
yeah,
And yeah, I'll be the
but
first one to tell you when I first came work from home permanently, it wasn't just my pen money. I was making the same thing that I was making I was doing home health at the time. But here was the advantage. I did not have to drive an hour to an hour and a half every morning and every afternoon. Um, I didn't have to get up and put scrubs on and fix my hair. I could just brush it and let it hang if I wanted to. Um,
yeah,
I don't do that. Yeah, these headsets have ripped my hair out. I'm not
yeah,
careful. I have very fine hair. Um, so in a way, it was a raise because my expenses
hmm
went down.
yeah. But we also, during that post-COVID time going into it. We were before, but definitely going into it and out of it became a global workforce
Yeah.
because now we've got call center agents for $4 an hour in the Philippines, and you can't blame them.
Now they're in business to make money, and they can't make paying employees and or workers either one is your biggest expense after electricity or
Rent.
yeah, if rent if you're in taxes. I mean, and that's paid once a year. Well, some states it may not be. But it's up there in the top five.
Yeah.
So you cut those expenses.
Yeah. But there's been a lot of people, and I've noticed this in the groups on Facebook, not necessarily in ours, thank God, but there's been a lot of gently, I'm going to say, irritation towards the global workers. Um,
Let me
and
tell you something. I could care less if I hear them chickens in the background because what's happening is these people are working to put food on the table.
yeah,
Um, I'm one of those, if I call somebody and they're working at home and I hear a baby in the background, or I can just, but it's not overbearing. I just barely hear the TV in the background or hear the front door shut because somebody
mm-hmm,
slammed it a little bit hard. Um, that doesn't bother me. These people, we are working to
mm-hmm,
pay the bills, to take a vacation, to put food on the table, to
mm-hmm,
put clothes on our children's backs. I mean, mine are grown, but um, to
yeah,
pay for our medication. Y'all, I have one medication that I take 5 prescriptions. And one of those I don't take all the time. It is as needed. But
mm-hmm,
one of my heart medications, my copay is $145 every 3 months.
yeah,
I work to buy
insane.
my medication.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. But there's been so much of, see, I'm trying to be polite, Miss Mary Ellen. Should I be polite or honest?
Can you try for both, at least for the first few sentences?
Okay, not everybody. See, that's the polite part. Now we're going to get real because this is why y'all watch these videos. We've got folks who are entering the workforce either for the first time or have done it for a while or are pivoting um, through all walks of life and all socioeconomic levels, okay, who are very, very upset about global workers. And I'm going to call them global workers because some people are saying Indian call centers or this center or that center. This is
And most
global,
of the time they're assuming anyway, as to what
something
the accent
nasty.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, something nasty. And we're not going to do that. This is a global workforce. We are in 2025. We are in a global workforce no matter what you do. You've got doctors talking through computers and video camera
Yeah, the little
countries
robot
away.
rolls up in there and they can
Yeah,
solve, and we've been doing that for years. My oldest son broke his neck. Wow. Well over 30 years ago.
yeah.
I'm
And
basing
and
that
they've
because the oldest one was 8 or 9, and she's fixing to be 39 next month. And he broke his neck.
Mhm.
And went the hospital we went to was Abbeville, South Carolina. If anybody wants to look it up, super small town. And there was nobody there to read it. We had Emory University on the screen reading his CT.
Yeah. And because of the global workforce, some people are just nasty or make nasty assumptions about the person on the other phone. Well, I don't understand why this, why that, why this, why that. I don't hate on somebody trying to feed their child, no matter where they live. You know what I'm saying,
or,
Miss
or or
Marilyn?
trying to buy medicine for their elderly parents or grandparents that they're taking care of, that they didn't put them in a nursing home because they ain't no nursing homes where they are.
Yeah. And it is. And I'm not like, oh, anti-American or anything. Um, but we are global. And speaking of global, even that's getting pushed out by AI.
It is, but and I'm gonna say this, and y'all can hate on me. Remember, I'm the one saying it, not Miss Becky. I'm saying it. So you got some comeback. You come after me. Everybody in this world is your neighbor.
Yeah.
There's no separation anymore. It's there. I mean, even as colonies, we were trading with other countries.
Hmm. We were.
There is proof of a global economy back the Vikings. I mean,
Yeah. The
get real,
Vikings,
y'all. We've had a global
spice
economy.
trade.
It's just closer on us because of communication is faster now. So we realize it more.
Yes. And speaking of which, we've got AI in the workplace now. First, we thought it was funny. This will help me do my job. And now it's like, am I going to have a job? What are your
Well,
thoughts on that?
here's my foremost question.
Hmm.
If the IVR AI is going to do my job, your job,
Hmm.
50% of people's, where's the economy going to go?
Yeah.
Because if we can't work, we're not going to have money to buy stuff with.
Yeah.
Where's the economy going to go?
Exactly. Because it used to be chat jobs. Those are a great example. Used to be it was one person, you had five or six chats, and sometimes some companies still do, but now most chats are, hi, I'm your virtual assistant. Even applying for jobs, I've noticed that.
Yep.
I'm your virtual assistant. Are you interested in applying for this job?
And the one at
Um,
Venmo, I'm gonna find that. I'm gonna find that AI bot one day and stick some dynamite with some kerosene down in it.
yeah. So it's absolutely insane. But chat jobs aren't as prolific for humans anymore unless it's relationship chat jobs. Y'all know what I'm saying. Even then,
Yep.
some of them are AI. But talking about AI in the workplace, it's not just call centers and chat jobs. We now have, what was that? HEB in one city has delivery robots, little delivery dogs. I saw that on the news. Amazon has posted in the news that some of their jobs are going, and it's not necessarily call center.
Well, there's been a store, and I'm not sure which it is a store we have here in America too. Um, somewhere in Europe that the front door is locked. They only let like one or two customers in at the time, and they just put the stuff in the buggy and walk out the door with it. It pulls the money out. It
Mhm.
rings it up. Don't have to take it
Yeah,
out. You just yeah. There are stores now that do that. You can go to Dollar General with your app and just pay. And I think it's called DG Go.
yeah.
And you scan the stuff as you put it in the buggy,
Hmm.
and then
You
hit
go.
pay.
Uh, Sam's Club has it. Costco has it. Um, I
I think
think
I think
Walmart,
some of the Krogers do
Kroger's
too.
have it. Yeah, some of the
Well,
Krogers
Kroger
do
owns
too.
HEB.
Yeah. So, it's insane that the jobs, they're not necessarily clerical jobs that'll
And
be
they've been
going.
welding your cars together for a while. I was telling Miss Becky, my daddy sponsored a men's softball team for
Mhm.
our his and mama's business when I was in high school, y'all. I was in the ninth grade, and I graduated in '85. So that's been eons ago. And one of our um coaches
Mhm.
worked for Cincinnati Millicron in
Mhm.
Greenwood, South Carolina. And they both told me that by the time I entered the workforce, there would be no workforce, that the robots they were developing would take
Mhm.
over doing the work.
And in some industries like automotive, they do quite a bit of the work.
Picking stuff out of the warehouse. Amazon,
Yeah.
it's not just going to be AI on the chat and on the phone and on the computer. They're going to have
Mhm.
robots picking. Now, humans may pack the packages.
Mhm.
There's going to be some humans there, but it's not going to be a lot.
Yeah.
So,
So
again,
what can we
who's going to be buying
uh,
from Amazon when they don't have a job?
yeah. So what can we do to upskill? What resources are out there to upskill yourself? We've got Allison.
There's Allison, Corsia,
Mhm. Um, Google certificates.
Google certificates.
Somebody's got to fix these AI when it messes up, these
Yep.
robots.
I would learn robotics. I learn how to program. I would learn at least get your children to doing this. Um things like I did today. I view it and going and taking pictures of the other take of at damaged assets. Um and survey. And again,
Now
I'm
there's
just going to be honest with you. I
yeah,
don't know how long that's going to last because um how many consumer goods are they going to develop when they have so many consumers that have no way of going out and buying those new goods.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell
Um,
you what I think
mhm,
you need to learn how to grow your own, gather your own, glean your own. Um,
yeah.
and if y'all have never heard of her, I'm gonna give her a plug.
Mhm.
Go on YouTube and find Prepper Princess and watch from the very beginning. She went to college, spent a good bit of money to go to college. Well, then the college went defunct, so her degree didn't mean anything.
Yeah. And
And
she lives on
she
very
gleaned
little.
very, very little, but she lives very well.
Yeah. Yes. I know Prepper Princess. I'm a subscriber. She is one of a kind.
She is.
She is. So how can we keep our skills up? Say you are a family, you are work from home newbie. There's free. You don't have to pay to go to fancy college. Allison courses, Coursera, Udemy, Google certificates. Um, and there are some jobs that will remain human for a while. I definitely think that. Of course, some of the caregiving will remain
Yes.
human. So caregiving is there. Some of the, fix the robots is going to remain there. Um, Anything that requires a personal touch, a human where people are wanting to talk to a human, like for example, Ingu and quite a few of the tutoring places are AI now. But people still want to talk to a live person. So some of the places I tutor at are doing okay, but slowed down. Um, but it's scary if you don't upskill, and you should upskill anyways, correct?
Yes, you always stay upskilling. Always. You don't never know when something's going to change in the industry you're in. And be ready to change. Be ready to do something else. Um, y'all, I have worked I grew up in the hospitality industry.
Mhm.
Um, I have my first husband and I had a construction business. Did I go out there and do a lot of construction? No, but I mean, I learned enough that I could do things around the house and fix it myself, save,
Mhm.
make money by saving money. I can, make birdhouses, bookshelves, and things and sell
Mhm.
them if I need to. Um, I can even make bubblegum machines that work.
Yeah.
Make the children pay for their candy out of their allowance.
But what I kind of,
I've done customer service. I
mhm.
have done home health care as a
Mhm.
caregiver. Um,
Well, there's an example I want to pull from your experience before we go much further. Even on our group, we recommend Earn Better, an AI resume maker. But
yes.
did people not used to get paid to do resumes? Some groups still
Oh yeah,
charge.
I mean, y'all, these people, y'all are going, oh, they will charge to do your resume. Yes, ma'am. That's been a thing. My daddy used to put a suit on, and Mama would type his resumes up on a typewriter, and hers, and the cover letters. And sometimes, if they were stepping up a little bit, they would pay somebody to do their resumes. It was a profession doing
Yeah.
resumes. AI's already took that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And done a very good job with it because
Yes.
we are proof of that. Um, so things are getting outsourced to AI. So, what are some common fears that we're seeing in the groups? Um, Call center, IVRs are replacing quite a bit. When I do call reviews with that other company, I hear a lot of AI in the beginning. I'll collect your account information, your name, your zip code, your problem, and reroute you to the correct department. Um, so that's not even a person. So, what other common fears are we running into
Well,
with
they're even
AI
AI are
taking the jobs?
teaching a lot of
Mhm.
these things when we go through certification. There is a human being on the screen. They sound like a human being. They talk smoothly, just like we are right now. And they have to, I don't know if they have to or not, but they tell us, hi, I'm John. I am an AI generated customer.
Yeah,
And just last year and the year before, there were people being paid to act and do that.
yeah, and they're not because I see it
And now
even in
there's no
certification.
little bit part actors. I mean, to us, that's going to be one of the last ones to go because, come on, down through the centuries, humans have loved their entertainment.
Oh yeah, yeah. So another fear is what's going to happen if you can't find a job, or if even if you do find a job, it's not like all jobs are going, but a majority of the jobs that have been easy to access, call centers are a big one. It used to be if you had a job, well, you know what, you're always going to start at the call center. That's a job. They don't care. It's a warm body, burn and churn. I've said it myself. Hey, go over to company so and so. It's a burn and churn, but at least you'll get your foot in the door and get a check. So, what's the fear that we're running into when people can't just go to the call center anymore?
Like I've already said, people aren't going to have jobs. You don't have a job. Where are you going to buy your insulin from? Where are you
Yeah,
going to buy that baby formula from?
yeah.
Um, how you going to buy your medication?
Mhm.
Now, I'm just telling y'all, if you don't have the skills you need some skills. You need to learn how to sew, at least enough to keep the clothes you've got together. Um,
Mhm. Learn how to cook, can.
learn how to cook, learn how to garden, learn get rabbits and chickens and ducks go together very well.
Yeah.
Be out there in
And
the woods instead of and catching me some quail and some dove and taming them. I don't need them taming up at the stay in the aviary like eggs.
uh but yeah, and this isn't some sort of conspiracy theory. It's just
It's
we're
back to
just
life,
seeing this in
y'all.
the news. Yeah, we're just seeing it in the news. Um, and if you live in an apartment, you can balcony spices, herbs and spices
You
at
can
the
grow
very least.
spices in in one of your windows. Put some shelves in the windows and grow the spices because the more you trim them and take spices off, the more they're gonna grow.
And that does save you money, you know.
It
Um,
does.
and can you not take food stamps and buy seeds?
Yes, if a seed or a plant produces an edible product, if the plant itself is edible or it produces, fruit or whatever,
Hmm.
you can use your SNAP benefits to purchase that.
Yeah,
Hey, y'all, save your seeds. When you buy plums at the store,
yeah.
save it. Save your seeds out of your different
Apricots,
squashes, your apricots. Save
watermelon.
it.
Yeah,
Um, if you eat pork, bacon is not a yeah, that's not a seed. But yeah, get you some bacon seeds though. They will till your garden spot up for you. You won't have to go buy a tiller.
yeah,
They sure
yeah,
will. And be collecting pallets.
yeah.
As you can make a very sturdy animal pen
Anything.
out of pallets, and you can take them
Yeah,
apart. Yeah, you can make a lot of stuff out of pallets, and a lot of places have them for free.
yeah. And even things like saving money, scrapping.
Yes,
We've discussed that before.
compost piles.
Composting, yes. And where can we learn if you don't have any knowledge? Even Amazon's got composting, scrapping, and
Yeah, compost is real easy. Pick your spot in the backyard and start throwing it out there. Turn it every once in a while. Throw your grass clippings on it. Throw your food on it.
yeah,
There is a great book on Amazon
hmm,
that I will put a link to. It's called Scrap Steading.
yeah,
I know the gentleman that wrote it, and believe me, he knows what he's talking about.
absolutely. So we've talked about a few common fears and possible solutions as far as upskilling and becoming more independent. Even if you don't have a lot of space, you can always grow herbs, which save you money. You can always grow tomato plants, which save you money.
Mhm.
Tomato plants are great. Pepper plants.
Let me explain something to you. You can keep a pepper plant alive and a tomato plant alive for years. You can plant one time and harvest for the next 20, 30 years. There's a habanero pepper plant in Hawaii that's 50 years old.
Yeah. So we can definitely do that. Now, do you have any wrapped up thoughts, any last thoughts, Miss Mary Ellen, any advice to give? I know this is a lot. It may seem unsettling.
Do not let fear come in.
Yeah. Be practical.
Be practical. Do not operate from a place of fear.
Yeah. So I'm not
Um,
telling you to go dig in the
get
cellar.
educated. Go
Yeah.
get educated and see where you need to turn from here. Allison has a free aptitude test.
Hmm.
Go take it because you may have aptitudes that you don't even realize you do towards certain things. And
Your
I'm not
local
gonna lie,
public library.
if you are a musician, if you have talents that are entertaining, like I said, human beings are always going to want their entertainment. That also, I know most of the musicians I know, it's also something that relaxes them.
Hmm.
So work on those talents.
Yeah.
One of the best times to think is while you're sitting there playing your instrument. Or it was for me. It was for every true music. I'm not a musician, y'all. I play. I'm not a musician, but I can play several instruments. Um,
Hmm.
but it was still soothing and calming. Um, turn to your higher power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get it and
Yeah.
educate yourself on what is going to be out there that you can get yourself some training and education to do.
Absolutely. And I always will tell you, learning a trade, whether it's woodworking, electrical, anything, house building, trades are good.
There's
Trades are
always
good.
going to be money in the trades. Don't push your children to go to college unless that's what they want to do. Send them to the local tech school.
Yeah, because
They can come out of
what
the
you
high
pay,
school with an associate's degree in a tech field.
yeah. Um, because you can start out scratching your butt going, yeah, ma'am, that's a leak as a plumber and make good money. Oh, you're tired, Mary Ellen.
No, I'm not having enough
Okay.
oxygen.
Oh, okay. Well, we are going to wrap up this video because we have one more to do if you're up to it.
Give me a minute and I will be.
Okay. We're going to wrap this up. Now, down below, we're going to have the links that pay. Miss Mary Ellen has cultivated these referral links carefully. These are ones that cash out daily, every couple of days, at least once or twice a week. Cash, not
Yes, and I'm gonna tell
voodoo.
you something else. Swag bucks, you can do
Mhm,
so many things. I'll just about all these things over there, and I put one game at a time. They'll have
mhm.
games you can play, and if they have one I'm interested in playing, I will put it on my phone and play it to get those points that I can then trade for a Visa card they can mail to me so I can put gas in the car or buy oil or buy groceries or my
Amazon
copay for
or,
my medication.
yeah, yeah. So definitely look into that. We are going to go ahead and kind of close this video down. I'm going to be in the same clothes because we're about to do Thursday's video. So I will holler at y'all later. Thank you so much. Don't
I'm
forget to
gonna put
like and
some cinnamon
subscribe.
oil on my pine cones back here on my desk and we'll be back.
All right, guys. Bye bye.